Hi guys, I am YesWeCamp and today I'm making a tutorial on quick peeking, or also known as sprint peeking or sneak peeking, and I'm not talking about the advertisement strategy, but I'm talking about this movement, okay? And this is a little trick that is very important to master in SF2, and it is done by everybody on the Asian versions of the game. Somehow I hardly ever see it on the European platform for reasons unknown to me, and I really don't know about those of you guys playing in America. I don't know if you use it or not. But anyway, if you want to learn it, well, here I am. But why is it important? Well, first and foremost, because by quick peeking you can get a look of what there is around a corner without getting killed by camping enemies, especially snipers. Another reason is because you can use this trick to get certain advantages in certain situations, like let's say there is a sniper there, then you can quick peek to try to entice a shot, and when your enemy obliges and misses you, if you have done all the things correctly, then you can jump out of your cover while they are reloading, and you can kill them. So I think this is pretty nice, isn't it? Now, before looking into how to make the movement, let's make sure your settings are correct. What you want is having a single key assigned to run. You cannot use W plus W, you cannot double tap W to run. If you are using that method, unfortunately you have to be aware of the fact that you cannot quick peek using that method of running. So you will have to get used to the single key. I understand some of you might feel disappointed, but unfortunately there's no workaround. The default key to run is left shift. I prefer caps lock. You can use just whatever key you feel most comfortable with. Now, let's talk about the actual move. I present a very easy way to quick peek, that it is the same that you see performed on the Asian tournaments and leagues and competitive scene, so you can feel pretty confident that it is effective. Now, let's say I want to peek around this corner, so right to left. What I do is putting my crosshair on the edge of the corner at head level, or actually it's even better if you put it slightly inside, so to the right. Then this is what you have to do. Watch my fingers. I'll show it step by step, slowly. First, you press run, and you keep it pressed all along. Second, you press forward and left at the same time. Okay, now we are picking. At this point, while you keep forward and run pushed, you want to release left and press right, and so you get back into cover. Again, press run, then press W and A at the same time, then keep W pressed and switch from A to D. You don't need to move your mouse. You can make some quick adjustments when you are running back into cover, but overall your mouse is not needed. I'll explain why later. Now, we have seen how it is done. It is very simple. At full speed it looks like this, okay? And if you want to pick again, you just need to take a couple of steps back and repeat as many times as you wish. Of course, if you want to pick in the other direction, so left to right, the sequence is the same, but you just need to invert the order with which you press your lateral keys. But okay, that's obvious. I mean, I know you had already figured that out. Now, if you have a problem visualizing the exact sequence, you can try this exercise. You want to run diagonally, and then you change your lateral direction without stopping, like in a zigzag. This is the exact same sequence for quick peeking, so it's pretty simple, as you can see. On a little side note, if you're wondering why you have to run diagonally in order to quick peek instead than simply strafing, there are two reasons. The first one is that when you run diagonally, your lateral speed is from 15 to 20% higher than just strafing. And the second one is that you can't just run sideways in SF2. As you can see, if I try, I end up just strafing, but my speed is not that of a run. In order to achieve running speed in this game, you always need a forward component in your movement. So you can either run straight ahead or diagonally, but not just sideways, okay? Let's go over what you can do with the quick pick. I have already said that you can pick without getting killed, and you can also use it to entice a shot from a camping sniper, but you can also pre-fire while quick picking. You just need to click with the right timing. I suggest shooting just one quick burst and repeating, because when you shoot you slow down, so you want to avoid remaining exposed for too long. Maybe even one bullet can be fine, I guess. What you want to do is putting your crosshair just slightly inside the corner, as I briefly mentioned earlier, because when you peek, your enemy will appear from the edge and then move towards the outside, if you know what I mean. Meaning that when I peek, as you can see, his head appears from here, and then as I move farther, your enemy will move away from the edges. If you don't understand, I mean this. As you can see, as I move, he first appears from the edge, and then as I move farther, in my perspective, he also changes his relative position to the corner and gets farther from the corner. So what happens when you put your crosshair slightly inside the corner before quick peeking is that when you peek, the center of your screen will be on your enemy's head, and in that case you can pre-fire without needing to adjust your aim. Another thing you can do is clearing a whole area around the corner. Now, I imagine most of you already know how to clear a corner, but just in case, to do that you want to place your crosshair on the edge of the corner, or slightly outside at head level, and then while you strafe out of the corner, so in this case left, you want to move your mouse to keep the crosshair on the same point, on the same spot. So in this case you want to move your mouse right. This sort of sweeping movement is called slicing the pie in real life, and in game you can break down this old movement into a series of quick picks like this, and anytime you clear a little bit of the area, you just take a little step on the side, and then you quick pick again, and repeat until you have cleared the whole area. Now, let's talk about the dangers of quick peeking. What should you watch out for? Well, first of all, when you peek, you don't want to overdo the first half of the movement, as I have said, meaning that you don't want to overexpose yourself, because otherwise that would defeat the whole point of the maneuver. It wouldn't be quick anymore. So just pick a little bit, and then if needed, clear the remaining area a bit by bit, as I have just showed. This is also the reason behind my recommendation of not needing to turn with your mouse during the quick peek, because if you don't overdo this first half of the movement, if you don't overexpose yourself, or rather, if you expose yourself just that much that you need in order to peak, then I can assure you that you have plenty of time and speed to avoid getting shot. If you follow my advices, you don't need to seek extra speed by readjusting your direction with your mouse when you head back into cover. You don't need to do that. Also, turning with your mouse can put you in awkward situations, because let's say there's someone just around the corner. If you peek and then turn when you are heading back into cover, if they chase you, then that would mean that you would be turning your back to them, and that can be dangerous, and you would also need to turn around again, while if you follow my instructions, you would remain turned toward your enemy and already ready to fire. Also, if you don't add a mouse turn to the movement, then the sequence is easier and you can do it more consistently even during the heat of the battle. So these are all the reasons why you should practice the quick pick only using your keyboard and try to forget about your mouse. Another danger is that you get only a brief glimpse of the area, okay? So in certain situations you might not notice an enemy, but they may notice you, especially snipers. Most common scenarios are when you look over an area that extends long range, then a far enemy is smaller and harder to see. Or another situation arises when your enemy is looking through cracks in objects, like this guy here. So try to know well the map and the trickiest hiding points, and be careful in those situations. Don't take for granted that just because you didn't notice anyone, then the area is clear. Another problem is the risk of getting wall shot depending by the material of the object you are using as cover, and also from the type of gun employed by your enemy. To avoid that, if you see an enemy who sees you in return, then unless you decide to engage combat immediately, it's wise to take a side step deeper into cover so you don't stand too close to the edge. Another risk is when you make many quick picks on the same spot, like this. I have shown this earlier. If you do that, then you want to make sure that your rhythm is not regular, because otherwise a wise opponent could predict when you'll appear from the corner, and with the right timing, they could pre-fire you. You would basically step into his bullet, or that can even happen if you do two quick picks in rapidly, one after the other one. Then, if your enemy has a slow reaction, they might accidentally hit you when you pick the second time. So that would be shameful. Last danger is the sound. The quick pick is not silent. Let me be very clear about that. And you should not fall into the trap of thinking that you can make it silent. I'll show you what I mean in a second. Let me increase the volume. Okay, now you can hear my steps. Now, if I do a very fast, very brief quick pick like this, okay, you can't hear a thing, right? Or even if I do it by sprint walking, meaning that I keep my walk key pressed and I just tap run very rapidly, like this, again, you can't hear a thing. Well, unfortunately that's a glitch in the sound system. It affects only you, but not the other players on the map. This glitch makes so that you can't hear anything, but when you try that trick, you do make noise, and the others will hear it. Actually, if you want to nitpick, you won't make noise exactly all the times, but a fair amount of those. And there will be a few random instances when it is silent, but it is very erratic, very random. You cannot predict it. The bottom line is that in either case, either it was silent or not, you have no way of finding that out, because in both instances you don't hear the noise. But rest assured that everyone else on the map will. So, if you decide to quick pick, you have to assume that you may reveal your position to all nearby enemies who are listening. Okay, this is all. This was quite long. I think by now you know how to quick pick. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. This is Yes We Camp, signing out. Peace, and I'll see you later.